Welcome to Class 6, entitled Producing Documents. This class will cover the workflow that takes place when attorneys have to gather documents from their clients and then produce them to opposing counsel. First, we'll talk about the general strategy involved, and then we'll resume discussion of PDFs, covering advanced features such as OCR, bait stamping, etc. Gathering documents and producing them can be quite tricky. Client documents can be kept in paper form or digitally. If they are digital, then there is the prospect that the files are kept in more than one type of format, such as Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, emails, pictures, and sound files. The first step is to gather all of the documents that are responsive to a document request and organize them into a temporary holding folder. If you receive paper, you scan it to the incoming folder as a PDF. You also put all of the electronic documents here. If you need to break up scanned documents, you do that at this point. The idea is to have one computer file per document in the incoming folder. Once you've done all this, you're ready to process the documents. As I said, if you have PDF files that contain more than one document, you have to bookmark and split the documents so that you have only one PDF per document. Finally, you'll move all of this information into a program called CaseMap, which we'll talk about in detail in further classes. There are two ways to convert documents to PDF. The first way is to scan them, and the second way is to print them to PDF, which we'll talk about now. Printing to PDF does not mean actually printing. It refers to creating a perfect digital capture of what would have come out of a printer if the document had been printed. If you have a word processing document, you can fake print by choosing Adobe Acrobat as the printer, and then choosing where to save the resulting PDF file. Documents that are created in this way are text searchable and do not need to be OCR'd. What do you do if you have an Excel spreadsheet to produce? Well, we know that we can print it to PDF, so that's a start. But we were given a file that needs to be produced in native format. On the other hand, we said we were going to only produce PDFs, so that seems like a conflict. It sure would be nice if we could print the Excel spreadsheet to PDF and then embed the native file into the PDF itself. Actually, that's totally possible if you have the full version of Acrobat. So let's take a look at an Excel spreadsheet. We already know that we can make this a PDF by printing to PDF. But once we have the PDF, what next? Simple. We just open up the PDF and attach the file or files that we want to embed into the PDF. And at this point, we can bait stamp the PDF and know that it contains the original file as well. OCR stands for Optical Character Recognition, and that's the process by which a computer makes a scanned document into one that contains searchable text. We want our PDFs to be searchable, so the first step after making all of our files into PDFs is to OCR them. The OCR command is under the Document menu in Acrobat. You don't need to be in the document that you want to OCR, and you can run the command on one document or on multiple documents. But OCRing takes time, so it's something you do at night or at lunchtime, or any time when you don't need to use your computer for a half an hour or so. Bait stamping has been a tool for lawyers for several decades, but never has it been easier to do. The question most young lawyers ask is, why Bates number at all? It's a good question. The answer, quite simply, is that if you want to keep track of documents, then every document has to have a unique identifier, sort of like a digital fingerprint. So how do you bait stamp in Acrobat? Go to the Advanced menu and choose Document Processing, and then Bates Numbering. Again, you don't need to be in the document you want to bait stamp, and you can run the command on a whole folder of PDFs at once, and that's exactly what you're going to do. So let's open up the Excel spreadsheet PDF that we created earlier. The first choice that we want to make is to shrink the document so that the bait stamp is applied to an area free of existing text. Then we simply choose the location, in this case the lower left corner, and we apply the stamp. The first thing that we should stamp is where the document came from and when it was received. Bait stamping is not the same as Bates numbering. So far we've only Bates stamped the documents to indicate where they came from and when we got them. Of course, the command in Acrobat that we used to do this was called Bates numbering. We still need to Bates number the documents, but that's one of the steps coming up when we process the documents in CaseMap. That process will be covered in an upcoming lecture.